Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson Football Channel for the first Chelsea match preview of the season. It's Brighton away, 8:15 tonight is the kickoff time in the UK. I'll be getting up at 3 in the morning. You guys will be hearing me complain about it again. Every single time we get a late kickoff, I'll be here complaining about when I need to wake up or how late I need to stay up. Tonight's going to be an early one. I want to be fresh for this one, giving it my full attention. I don't think I've ever been so excited for a season to start as I am right now. If we bring it back to that transfer window in 2004, I was excited, but I was also only 10 years old and I had to worry about things like bedtimes and going to school and doing flipping homework, which is always a waste of time. But this is a big one. If you guys are excited for it, make sure you hit the like button on today's video. If we hit 6,000 likes, then, you guys will be a bunch of legends. I'll be a happy man. And hopefully, the next time you see me, during 6 Things We Learn, I might do a live stream. I've got to test my internet a little bit, so stay tuned. It might happen, but if not, 6 Things We Learn, a series. After every single Chelsea match, it's my match review series, where we analyse the 6 key points from the game. We put it into different coloured boxes. I will be back with the long-awaited return of 6 Things We Learn tonight. Chelsea versus Brighton. It's the final match of the opening weekend of the season. As Chelsea fans, we are all so excited and so eager to see some of these new players that have been brought in by Frank Lampard for the second Roman revolution. We're excited to see these players start. Obviously tonight we're going to be without Thiago Silva, Ben Chilwell and of course Hakim Ziyech, who are all still injured. Thiago Silva hasn't yet been training enough with the first team, so he won't be featuring for a while. But with the injuries, we've still got so many exciting players to look forward to. Mateo Kovacic is also suspended, which is why for this match preview today I've decided to go with a 4-3-3 as opposed to a 4-2-3-1 that Chelsea used in the friendly against Brighton a couple of weeks ago. Now you can read into that friendly as much as you like. It finished 1-1. We saw Timo Werner get on the score sheet with one of his first shots in a Chelsea shirt. That's going to have absolutely no bearing on what happens in this game tonight. Chelsea are going to be looking to change what we did last season, which was not kill teams off. There were so many times where we dropped points because of our inability to see out games. And I think the improvements we've made in this squad have been brought in to not only strengthen the team, strengthen the depth in the side so that Frank Lampard has always got players to call upon from the bench to change games for Chelsea when needed. No disrespect to Brighton, but I think this is a nice fixture for the opening weekend of the Premier League season. Of course, in all of my match previews, I try and build a team that I consider good enough to beat any given opposition. So the title is How Chelsea Will Beat Brighton Today, and the team that we're about to build is one that I think is going to be good enough, strong enough in all areas to go forward and push for the perfect start to the season. So we've already seen wins for rivals such as Arsenal. They had a very good performance away at Fulham. I was impressed by Arsenal. Liverpool won an absolute thriller at Anfield, 4-3. Spurs, everyone thought I was stupid saying Spurs wouldn't even get top 6. Everton have made a very, very good start to the season as well. It was a good performance. James Rodriguez getting involved, Calvert-Lewin with the winning goal. Chelsea want to make sure that we're keeping the pace with all of these teams that are going to be competing not just for European places this season, but also for the Premier League too. We need to get off to a win, and the team that we're about to build, I think, is going to be able to do so. Before we get into that, make sure you subscribe to GBFC so that you don't miss any of the content coming for this new season. But we start off with the goalkeeper, and this one's always going to be interesting now because Chelsea are on the verge of landing £18 million man. Again, Marina's just doing a madness. We're going to get a bargain in Edouard Mendy. Supposedly the initial fee is 18 million, despite Rennes wanting 30 million euros. So great business again from Chelsea. But today, Kepa Arrizabalaga and also Willy Caballero are the 2 goalkeepers that could be potentially starting. And I think Kepa will be given the nod. I think towards the end of last season, we saw that he lost his way. With Mendy coming in and with Kepa that he wants to stay and fight for his place in this Chelsea team, I think Lampard will give him the nod for this one. He's obviously had a bit of time to reflect on what wasn't a very good season. He knows that Chelsea are bringing in Mendy to put even more pressure on that number 1 shirt. It's football. It doesn't matter how much money you spend on a player. If they're not good enough to be fulfilling that number 1 shirt at Chelsea, Kepa won't be the goalkeeper, but I think he will be today. And we move into a back 4, starting with the right back. I've gone with Reece James. With Ben Chilwell still out injured, I think Aspi will be the left back for this one. Reece James, I think it's a big season for him now. He's got the opportunity again to keep developing at the club. If he's number 2 to Azpilicueta, then, obviously he's got somebody who knows that right back role, who's been doing it for a long time in the Premier League. With Thiago Silva as well in the defence, one thing we will see this season from Reece is development in terms of his defensive structure, his positioning, his tackling. We know he's a very strong lad as well. So I think Reece James is going to develop into an even better player than we've already seen last season when he is given minutes in the side this year. So moving away from Reece James, I think he'll start today with Ben Chilwell being out, Aspi on the left. To complete the defence, we've gone with Kurt Zouma and Rudiger next to Azpilicueta in left back. So Thiago Silva, we all know that when he comes in, he is going to be a leader in this side. I think he will be a figurehead. We've seen that Paris Saint-Germain, since Thiago Silva has left, they've not scored and they've lost both of their opening games in the French league. And I think Thiago Silva's influence in that team is something that not only will Chelsea now benefit from, but I think that when Thiago Silva is in this side, it's going to be between Christensen, Tomori, Zouma, Rudiger. One of these guys will be partnering him in centre-back, and I think it's a big opportunity for Rudiger to answer his critics. I think there's a lot of people that have said, other than being an agent, trying to bring Kai Havertz to Chelsea, getting Timo Werner through the door, helping out wherever he can in that sense, people are questioning Rudiger's defensive capabilities. And I think with this game, we can see him start, and I think he'll play alongside Zouma, who was Chelsea's best centre-back towards the end of last season. I think he's a guaranteed starter in this one. It could be Tomori, but then I also think Chelsea trying to push the loan. Christensen, for me, he's too inconsistent. And I think Rudiger, yes, inconsistent as well. Until we have a full-strength defence, I think we could still see some frailties at the back from Chelsea. But at the same time, with the Thiago Silva addition, we could see players like Rudiger really step up and fight for the place in the Chelsea team. Now we move into a midfield 3, and I've got to say, I completely forgot to mention Ruben Loftus-Cheek in yesterday's strongest possible Chelsea lineup video. You guys absolutely love the video. It's on nearly 100,000 views in 24 hours, so I want to say a big thank you for that. And it was completely my bad that I forgot to mention both Ruben and Olivier Giroud. So don't worry, I've addressed that one. And I've actually put Ruben Loftus-Cheek in my starting 11 for this game. I said last season that whatever we saw from Ruben, we shouldn't judge whether he's good enough to be a Chelsea player. Is he going to fully recover from that injury? Last season, it was going to be tough for him. It was a long layout, and we didn't see him get as many minutes as we'd like to. But I think with the pre-season, the ability to train with the other injuries that Chelsea have currently got plaguing some of the players, we will see Ruben Loftus-Cheek, in my opinion, start this one for Chelsea, alongside N'Golo Kante and Mason Mount in a midfield 3. There could be a rotation between maybe Mount on the right wing and Havertz. Will we see the two play in the same team together in similar positions? I don't think we will for this one. I think what we get with N'Golo Kante playing in that holding role, we know that he's always better when he's alongside somebody. You throw it back to the Nemanja Matic days or last season when he was playing and he was kind of fit, playing alongside Kovacic or Jorginho. We see the best out of N'Golo Kante, but I think for this one, Chelsea will be able to attack Brighton. We're going to be given a lot of possession, and I think with Kante in the middle, with Mason Mount pressing on the left-hand side, or Ruben on the left, with Mount on the right-hand side, being able to link up with Kai Havertz, who I think is going to start on the right wing. We've seen the way that Frank has praised the way that Havertz has been training. We know that he's fit from the minutes he got at Germany in the international break, and I think he's going to start this game, and I don't think it's in his most favourable position, but the one reason why Havertz is such an exciting player for Chelsea is because he is so versatile and he can play in so many different roles, and I also think we'll see him link up with Timo Werner as Chelsea's striker for this game. I don't know about you guys, but it doesn't matter what lineup we field tonight, I'm so excited to see how we play. I think everybody is going to be fighting for their positions, and to complete the team, we've got Christian Pulisic on the left-hand side, and I'm going to talk about how I think this midfield and attack can connect together in this game against Brighton. Christian Pulisic is one of the first names, if not the first name, on my Chelsea team sheet right now. I think the way he ended last season was incredible. I think the fact he's recovered quickly from that injury, Frank said he's 100% fit. We've known that now for about a week. So Pulisic's 100% fit. He walks straight into this team, no matter who it is that's fighting for his place right now. The best thing with all these Chelsea players and the different roles that people can take in different positions with the different formations that Frank Lampard liked to use last season it's going to be very difficult for opposition teams to know exactly what kind of Chelsea's going to turn up. I think one of the biggest benefits that we have now is that with such a big squad, with players not only fighting for positions, but we're going to see a lot of different changes in the early stages of this season. I think Frank is going to adapt the formations, adapt the starting lineup, see who could start and then who could come off the bench to change a game with 30 odd minutes to go. One of the best things last season, in my opinion, about Frank was that he wasn't afraid to make early changes, which is something we've not seen from some of Chelsea's other recent managers. Kai Havertz linking up with Timo Werner, with Mason Mount on the right-hand side of that midfield three. That could be where the game is won for Chelsea. You also add into that Reece James's ability to get forward, get crosses in. I think the link up on that right-hand side is going to be absolutely key for Chelsea. And I think one of the main things this season, if we're not going to be able to completely sort that defence out immediately, I'm not expecting to go back to the Cavallio-Terry days where we concede, 13, 14 goals in one season. That was incredible. We conceded 54 last season, and I said in the video with Jan, and Jan said it himself, if we can shave 20 goals off the goals conceded, we're going to make improvements. I think there's no doubt we're going to score more goals. And in terms of my prediction for this game, I'm going to do a match prediction in every single preview. Brighton 1, I think they'll score. Chelsea 3. I think we're going to score a ton this season. And I hope that we get off to the right start. 3 points here. Going into that game against Liverpool. Liverpool didn't look great in that game against Leeds. Leeds were very good, and we know Bielsa, tactician, it's going to be difficult to beat them this season. Liverpool did score 4. They won 4-3. But if we can go into that game next week at Stamford Bridge with 3 points in this, I think it sets us up very well indeed for what will be a massive test against Liverpool. I hope to see Havertz start. I think he will. I think it might be on the right-hand side of a front three. Let me know your predicted lineup in the comments down below. Of course, there's a few hours now till kickoff. I might be doing a stream. I'm not entirely sure. The internet's been super buggy, and I don't want to start a stream that just keeps dropping and it just looks unprofessional and all that stuff. And I still don't have this setup to be able to do it with this camera, so it will have to be on my phone, but maybe there'll be a stream. I'll let you guys know. 6 things we learned will be out after the match, and as I said at the beginning, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. Super excited for this game tonight. Let me know your predictions in the comments, and I'll catch you all later. Come on, you Blues.